that one day this nation will rise up.
Okay, this is your girl Desi J. Thank you for watching this video, and happy Inauguration Day. And this day is not a happy day for some, but honestly, we've had some time to adjust, I want to say, or get used to the idea of having, in the White House at this point. But I do want to address some of the comments that are being made. So it's not that I don't want people to see the outrage and the backlash as we're just upset that a Republican has won, because Republicans have won time and time again. You did not see this backlash, these riots, this much uproar when any other Republican won. Like, not even when Bush got a second term after having us fight two wars. Not even. Because as a people, we're used to sucking it up and moving on. It's just that you have someone that was preaching hate, and the fact that they were able to not only preach hate freely, but succeed by preaching hate. I think that's what's appalling. I think that's what is just, it's amazing. Like, it's not even the fact that he's unqualified for the job, although I know that is the fact to some of you guys, but to me that's not the problem. The problem is that for the first time in a long time, since about 1965, we've seen hate succeed. And it's hate against everyone. And it's hate against women. And it's hate against young people. And it's hate against minorities. And it's hate against Mexicans. And it's hate against the LGBT. And it's hate against the disabled. And it prevailed. And we always think that there are more good people than bad in this world, but more people voted for hate. And just because I'm saying Donald Trump represents hate does not mean that Hillary in any way represented love. I think the Obama administration represented love. I think the Hillary administration was just a consolation prize that many of us had to settle for after Bernie lost, because Bernie was someone that we felt was really going to put the interest of the youth at heart, the youth first. And I feel like there was a great divide, and I feel like what ultimately made Bernie lose was that the older parents, like I would like to say like 40s and 50s and 60s, a lot of them were strong Hillary supporters. So you had two different voting ranges in many cases, like mine, growing up in the same, living in the same household. So I had Hillary posters on my door alongside Bernie posters because my parents were for Hillary and me and my siblings were for Bernie. It was a divide that we did not have. Me and my parents have never disagreed on a candidate before. We were for Obama when he went against Hillary. We were for Obama when he went against McCain. We've never had a divide in our household, and it was a divide that a lot of people were seeing. And I think it's because he was outreaching towards the youth, and he was outreaching toward young people of color, and the older people of color, I don't know. I'm not sure where it left, but I feel like maybe some nostalgia for Bill Clinton years played a part in the older generation more leaning towards Hillary Clinton? I honestly cannot tell you. But my parents always tell me, like, okay, no, they're gonna run the country together. Like, if she doesn't know what to do, she's gonna go to Bill and he's gonna fix everything. And I think thinking like that is irrational. Because at the end of the day, when you get hired for a job, a position, yeah, you can seek advice, but at the end of the day, the ball is in your court. You are the president. You are whatever profession, not your spouse. If you can't handle a job without your spouse in your ear telling you everything what to do, like everything to do, then maybe you're not suited for the job. So the fact that that's why my parents were voting for Hillary in the beginning over Bernie, that was just hard for me to deal with. And then also, it was also a lot of scandals in this election. And this election, I saw a lot of mudslinging, more than I've ever seen before. And honestly, it discouraged a lot of people from either party. Because darkness and light just got so dim. It was between black and gray. There was no true light. I feel like the true light in the election was Bernie Sanders, and he became not an option, so it became hard for us to deal with that as Americans, us to deal with as a youth of America. And I don't know where we went wrong as people, but I had a belief in just a belief in my body, in my heart, in my soul. I just had a belief that the election of a black president meant that from this point forward, from 2008 forward, from 2009 forward, that there was going to be an acceptance of all people, that there was going to be love, that everyone's voice was going to be heard and respected, and that everyone had a voice. And to follow that by just hate is something that I'm just never going to understand. I don't understand how hate can drive out love, when at the end of the day, love is sometimes all we have. And we have to cling to love, and we have to cling to the fact that we're Americans and we love each other. And that love is love, and love is love, and love is love. We have to cling to that as a people. At the end of the day, we run our government. It's our government. The Constitution does not give rights to the American people. It lets the government know what they can and cannot do. It protects the rights of the American people. It lets the government know, hey, listen, this is what you're not going to do. We need to remember that we're in charge. And I think that's what's going to get us through the next 4 years. Or maybe the next 8 years. Because I don't know. But I do agree we need some time to heal as a country. No rioting and breaking things like Starbucks. The owner of Starbucks did nothing to you. Nothing. Like, I don't see the point of that. But what I do see the point of is educating our youth to make sure that they know that they have to be accepting and tolerant of all people, and that racial slurs are not accepted, and calling black people, people of color, the N-word is not acceptable. It's not okay. And having a president that tolerates that gives permission, even if it was just a ploy to get into the White House, as some people say, and conspiracy theorists say. It gives permission to every silenced thought, every silent word, as Obama was in the White House and you had to respect him as your president. It gives permission to all the people. It gives permission to every racist voice. And it tells them that it's okay to hate, and it's okay to be racist, and it's okay to hate Muslims and blacks and gays and Mexicans. Like, that is not what America was founded on. America was actually supposed to be a place of asylum for refugees. That's exactly why the Pilgrims came over here from England. So, make America great again. America has traditionally, before all the foolishness, We want to go back to that time where people came here seeking religious freedom and how it was a sanctuary for refugees and a chance to start over before it got tainted by the Crusades and people wanting to fight a holy war that God did not send them to fight. But I don't even know if we can call those the good times, because the good times where the pilgrims came over, but they drove out the Indians, the Native Americans. I'm not sure what they prefer to be called. But when they drove out the Native Americans, like, that was still a time of hate. I'm just confused what time we're going back to that was better than the present. When? Segregation? Slavery? The getting rid of all the Native American people? When have we ever been better people than we are right now? So I want to know what greatness we're going to go back to. What greatness? I think that these next couple of years are going to be a really reflective time. I have seen on the media lots of videos and clips of people losing their minds. The N-word being slung around like just anything. People saying, watch when Trump is president, watch, you're going to be sent back to... Watch, you're going to be sent back to your country. Comments like those are not warranted. Comments like those are not fair. It's not fair to tell someone that you'll be glad that they leave their home. You'll be glad when your president kicks them out of their home. America has always been a place of asylum for refugees. It's always been that place of hope. So if you tell me that we need to make America great again, how far back are we going? How far back? And why can't we just love all people? And I know what you're thinking, but you know how long people have been waiting for their country, their fellow citizens, to love them back. Not even love, just accept them for who they are and not try to change them. I'm sorry, but no matter what, I'm always going to be a dark-skinned African American woman, and I will fail your brown paper bag test every single time. I am dark-skinned. I'm fine with that. But it leaves me at the bottom of a totem pole where it goes white male, white female, Spanish, or as just lightest skinned Asians, Hispanics but not Mexican, like Puerto Rican, right? Then Mexicans, some Dominicans. Then it goes to the lighter skinned black men first, then the lighter skinned black women, and then the brown skin, and then the dark skin. And that's where I am, at the bottom of your totem pole. That's exactly where I am. And love never seems to trickle down that far. Whenever love comes, it never seems to trickle down that far. Whenever we speak of black, we never seem to speak of all shades. And when we do accept shades, it always seems to be the lightest. But why can't everyone be loved by this nation? Why can't everyone be accepted? Why can't everyone have that sense of belonging? Why can't our country love us back? Instead of being told to go back where you came from, when many of us come from here, we might have been taken from other places and brought over on ships, but that was not our choice. We're here because your ancestors wanted us here. So instead of us trying to make America great again, instead of us rioting in the streets and trying to punish Starbucks for Trump being president, how about we just take this moment to self-reflect and make sure this generation that's currently growing up does not think that racial insults are okay. That they don't get too comfortable or too used to hearing it where they feel like it's normal. We need to take away the normalcy, prevent the normalcy from happening of hearing racial insults for our children. Never shrug off a racial insult. React every single time. To let your children know that no, this is not normal, no, this is not okay, no, it's not permitted. Do not shrug off if someone calls you anything derogatory, ever. Ever. Because it teaches your children to be docile, and it teaches them that it's alright. It's alright to not speak up. And don't only just speak up for yourself, speak up for others. Speak up for Muslims, speak up for Hispanics, speak up for Mexicans, even though they're Hispanic, speak up for the LGBT, speak up for everyone. And I said even though they're Hispanic because I mentioned Hispanic and I mentioned Mexicans, but I just did that because sometimes we treat them like they're two different people. But that's all I want to say to you guys. Love is 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 love. Alright, you've been watching Dusty J, and you'll definitely see me later. And I'm sorry for getting all political on you, but y'all are depressing me. Like, depressing me. My timeline is depressing me. Like, bye guys. Ooh.